Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is Saturday, April 8th, 2023, and this is episode 53. Nope, 55. Oh dear. I'd like to say welcome to any new viewers and thank you to all you returning viewers. If you do like my channel, be sure to like this video, subscribe, do all the things so you can get more of my knitting content, crafty content. So, my name is Roz. I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada, with my husband and my two kids who are 13 and 11. And I think that's the end of my spiel. I'm a little off today, guys. It's Saturday afternoon. I've had a wonderful, relaxing couple days, busy couple days, so I didn't get to recording on Friday because it's Good Friday, and there was other things happening which were fun and lovely, but it's throwing me all off. Or maybe this is just my norm. Who knows? Right. For you today, I have finished objects, works in progress, events, and some chatter. I think that's it. So let's move on to finished objects. My first finished object is a dice bag. So I ended up using some ribbon. If you've been watching my daily vlogs, you have seen my I just didn't want to knit the I-cord video. But it is all finished, so it opens right up. I do have dice in it, so it's going to be hard to show. I don't want to tip them everywhere. But basically the dice live in their own little thing. So I've got each of my sets in there, and it closes up super nice, fits everything. So you can get 7 sets of dice for Dungeons and Dragons in there. And this is just some leftover scraps that I had. And I think it turned out really fun. Some of my favorite colors. The brown's not my favorite color, but it goes. It's fine. And I happened to find ribbon that I think just matches perfectly. So yeah. The pattern for this is called Bag of Sorting by Daniel Thune. And the yarn, the bottom half is in a fleece artist yarn, and the top is a Malabrigo of some kind, I think. I can't remember. And, you know, it's going to be hard to see. You're going to have to look at my previous videos, but I've got some hedgehog fiber in there, some sea turtle in there, and, yeah. So, one and done. And, yeah, there's been requests from the rest of my family to get their own bag of sorting now, so more in my future. If you watched my last episode, you would have also seen this pattern, but I've made 2 more. So this one I've done, I started off with charcoal knowing I wouldn't be able to finish it, but I think it gives it a neat detail that you can wear it with some of the charcoal, or you can just wear it with the navy. And then I have one where I literally have nothing left, and I just knit until I had no yarn, and then I sewed it together, and it actually turned out pretty close to the same size. So yeah. And I'm very happy with them. They have done exactly what they needed to do and use up a lot of my bulky, details. The pattern is Chunky Cabled Headband by Michelle Greenberg. And yeah, I could definitely see knitting more of these. It's easy to kind of change the size to, you just do fewer of the cable repeats, and you could have, you know, a little kid size and a few more, and you'd have a bigger head size. So definitely more of these in my future. And the yarn is Lion brand Respun in their Thick and Quick, and the color is Night Sky. So there was a charcoal color, I don't remember what that's called, and then the blue is Night Sky. So that, I think. Or I could be wrong. The dark with the black could have been Night Sky. I don't know. I don't have the ball bands anymore, so black and blue. There you go. And that is it for my works in that is it for my finished objects. Oh dear, you guys. I think I need another cup of tea. We will move on to works in progress. My first work in progress are my socks. So I'm calling these my crazy orange socks. And yes, I know that there's more than just orange in these, but they definitely have an orange undertone. So, but there's pink and brown and just fun pattern. This is some very old stash that I had, and it was all wound up and ready to go. So I was like, you know what, I'm just casting on. And I like to always have a pair of socks on the needles. I think I'm gonna do the even heel pattern for these ones. I am doing a 3x1 rib on the top of the foot, and the bottom is just stockinette. And I did get them perfectly matching. So that is always exciting when I can make that happen. And this yarn seemed a little thinner than my regular sock yarn, so I am knitting it on a 2mm versus a 2.25. And I'm also doing ribbing on it, and I did a 72 stitch count instead of a 64. So yeah, hopefully that will work out. But yeah, so making good progress on those. Those are kind of like my mindless knitting. I can just go around and around and around and not need too much pay attention. So what's next? Last week, I think you saw this one. Oh goodness. So, sorry, there's a lot of yarn. Let me untangle first. We've untangled. Okay. Hopefully none of my stitch markers fall off. Look at this, you guys. Okay, it looks much better in person. It's looking a little zigzaggy, but I don't want to stretch it out too much because I don't want to pop it off the needle. But look, it's cables and lace, and it's going to be such a delicate hat. It's just so awesome. So this pattern is Forgotten Path by Barbara Naleko. I think that's how we decided to say it last week. Oh, but she has her own YouTube channel called Knitting I Love. So yeah, it's so good, you guys. This is going to be like the perfect spring weather hat. And this yarn is some yarn that I picked up from Oyama Lake Alpaca Farm a few years ago. They are no longer in business, but it is an alpaca yarn, so it's going to be nice and warm and hopefully not too scratchy or anything. And yeah, it is a sock yarn, so, but it's a light fingering. It's a 2-ply. I don't know if that's gonna show up. No, it doesn't want to show up, but it's a 2-ply. So I think it's working up just great. I think okay, so that's everything about that one. Move that one from one side to the other so I know what I'm doing here. Next up in my Game of Thrones bag, I have something I want to show you. So I did mention earlier that my family also wanted some bags of sorting. And so I've started another one. Look at that. Okay, so this yarn is White Birch Fiber Arts in the colorway Nothing Says Screw You Like a Rainbow. So I had knit, did I have one skein? I think I had 2 skeins. And when Taylor was little, I knit her and her little friend a pair of leg warmers. They very quickly grew out of them, probably because I made them too small. So then I took back the yarn, washed it all, and made sock head hats out of them with big pom-poms. But after those 2 skeins, I still had this much left. And you can see like there's some weird bits sticking out because some of them are partial pieces. So this yarn normally just has one rainbow repeat from red to purple, and then it has this light blue section which looks like clouds, and then it does another one. However, when I wound up the pieces on the outside of here, it was I had to cut a little bit off, but there was 2 full rainbow repeats, and I think that looks super awesome for the bottom. Yeah, it's so good, you guys. So yeah, so now I've got a bunch of the blue, and then yeah, I'm just gonna go with wherever it goes is where I'm gonna go. She has decided to do this kind of plain teal color for the inside, and because the rainbow's not going to work so well on the back and forth, so we're just going to do the plain color of, what's this? Gauge Dye Works, and this is the Merino Twist. So it's just the blue. This is left over from a baby sweater that I made, you might remember. So it's just a super rush merino nylon, so that will work perfect for that. And yeah, so working on another bag of sorting, but I got to the part where you had to like pick up the dividers, so I just haven't done that yet, but maybe I'll do that tonight during the movie time. Oh yes, what's this from? Okay, I'm all frazzled. Okay, next up I have some dice. So between last episode and this episode, I found out about a knit along being hosted by a lady named Mackenzie, who is M to the 3rd. Or maybe I talked about it on the last episode. I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm doing this knit along, and basically what you do is you roll a d20, and that picks what color you're doing in your pattern. So you get really randomized stripes on what you're doing. I decided to do the Musselburgh hat. So it looks kind of funny right now. So this is Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague. It is a double layer toque. So you start at the crown and you knit all the way down, and then you knit basically an inside hat. And the way that I'm doing it, it will be reversible. So you'll be able to have this side out or whatever the other side is, and it's a double layer thick. So I am doing the adult medium. I believe my husband has already called this one. I just think the idea of having stripes rolled by your D20 is awesome. And I took her other idea and I have a D10, and that determines how many stripes there is. And I write it down all in my book, so I've got it all. But basically, so there was like lots of stripes for those ones, and then there's like a couple like 1-stripers, 2-stripers in there, and I think it's turning out super fun. I've got my entire basket full of yarn here. So the yarn that I'm using is a Ginger Snap That Advent set from 2021. And I just recently finished a cowl and hat out of that yarn. So I just wound it up into individual balls, put it in little baggies, and off we go. So yeah, that's super fun. Super, super fun. Sorry, my computer's over here today, so just trying to get along with that. I think that's it. Yep, that's it for works in progress. Sorry, I'm very scattered. Let's move on to events. I have 2 events to talk about today. The first one is the one I just mentioned, which is the M to the 3rd podcast video channel is hosting the D20 cowl, and you don't have to knit a hat. She's knitting a sweater. You just have to knit something where you roll a dice to pick your color. And I was actually thinking, because I'm not a super fan of the how many colors are being rotated through, and I know that there will be some colors that I just don't get to. So I was thinking that I might do the next one, because I have so much of this yarn left, and it's a pretty easy project, other than it's not really portable because I don't want to take like my dice tray and all that stuff with me. But I could do one with just like 8 colors and roll an 8-sided dice instead. So that might be fun too. Yeah. The other event is Northern Knits podcast Is that what they're called? YouTube channel. Anyway, they have an audio on a YouTube, and they're hosting their spring knit along. There's no prizes or anything, but it's just encouraging to knit something from spring that inspired by spring. You know, something with flowers in it or whatever. It's very broad, but I am very happy that spring is here. So I am trying to pick something to go and have that. Maybe I'll do a top, like a spring top, something I'll wear in the spring. Spring is here, you guys. It's great. So that's it for events, and we'll move on to chatter. For chatter this week, the first thing is that I usually talk about is books, and I haven't finished any books this week, but I am so close on a book. So maybe after this, I'll go read and knit. So this one I'm reading on my Kobo, and I do have a little e-reader pillow that I made that sits out by my chair, so I can prop my book up, and then I'm hands-free to knit away, and then I just need to swipe. I can use even like, sometimes I use my like knuckle and like swipe across to turn the pages, so it works out really well. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I am doing the daily vlogs in April. So I thought that I wouldn't have a lot of content, and maybe some days I won't, but I just edited the first week of vlogs and it's almost an hour long. So I think that for me, that's too long of a video. I am going to post that first week as a whole week, but I'm going to move back to the daily kind of thing. I might not put one out every day. I might release like, 8, 9, and 10 on the same day, but they will be separate videos, so you can just watch the days that you want to watch. And some days might be more interesting than other days, so we'll see. See what happens. I think it's pretty interesting. Sometimes I forget to record. I get sucked into whatever I'm doing, and then I'm like, oh, I should have recorded that, but I think it's going pretty good, and I find it fun and interesting. It kind of just captures a moment in time of my life, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. And if you don't watch the vlogs, it's no worries there. You can just watch whatever you want. It's just content that I like to put out, and if you guys enjoy it, make sure to comment and like, and I just love interacting with you guys and seeing what you're working on. Tag me on Instagram if you want to show me what you're working on. If you're working on, something in the same area or a different area or whatever. I just love chatting with you guys and really appreciate the fact that you guys take time out of your day to, spend some time with me. And I just realized I said you guys a lot. When I mean you guys, I mean people in general. So I don't mean guys like boys. I just mean like people. I hope that's clear to everyone. I always want to make sure that everyone feels included and recognized, and everyone is welcome in this space. Okay, that is it. I think we're going to call this good for today, because otherwise I'm going to go a little crazy. So I've been doing a lot of editing with the daily vlogs, so this is a bit of a shorter one. I hope that I, provided you some updates on my knitting though, and you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys all next time. Bye!